Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make these trendy heart cloud pendants using Ultimate Paint and resin. Alright, so I'm just gonna get started here, and here I'm starting out with some UV resin. This is our favorite to use lately. We've just been using the resin from Hobby Lobby. It's in the jewelry section. Now I'm going in with our moss. As always, gotta remember to clear out the tips using, you can use anything really, a pin, head pin, eye pin. So just the teeniest little amount I'm adding into that resin. So we're making a little Ultimate Paint and resin mixture here. Go ahead and just stir this up really well. This is gonna be the first color that we add on to our little heart pendant. So I always stir up everything I need for like all of the pendants I'm making at the same time. So for this, I'm gonna do a heart locket and a square locket at the same time. So I'm just mixing up enough for both of those things. Got that mixed up really nice and good, and just tapping on little, I just like to say like little blobs of the moss and resin mixture. So I'm doing this pretty randomly. I always just keep in mind the next color that I'll be using after applying this, because we're kind of, adding the two colors together. So go ahead and just put that all out onto your pendant. This brush I'm using, it's a silicone brush. It's so perfect for resin because you can just clean it up with a paper towel after you're done using it. So yeah, go ahead and just spread that around. And I like to bring a little bit up onto the little loop on top of the heart. For the square, I don't do it because the square has its own little section. I'll show you here on my iPhone footage. I've got it right here. So this is the square. So see how that just has its own perfect little square section for the resin. All right, back to our, here we go. I have added in our Emerald Ultimate Paint into that moss mixture and mix that really nice and well, and go ahead and just fill in those gaps with your second color, which is the emerald. And I just mixed it right in with the moss and resin mixture that I had already made, just because I feel like it flows the colors better together because you're getting teeny hints of the moss behind it. So if you just make the mixture with the emerald and moss that's left over, it works really well, especially because it's a darker color. So go ahead and pick that up, and I put it on the sections that it didn't have resin, but I also added it into some of the moss sections. And just turning down my, okay. All right, go ahead and move your tray, because what you need to do is now cure it with a UV resin lamp. And I just go ahead and hold it right where I need it, and probably gonna do about 45 seconds here. So this UV resin lamp is used typically for nails and home nail artists, but it works perfectly. It's the perfect strength for jewelry projects, because it's about the same amount of resin that you'd be using on your nails. So it works perfectly for all of our jewelry projects. So I cured that for about 45 seconds, and you can see there I tapped it with the back of my brush just to see if it was dry, and it looks like I needed to do it a little bit longer. So what's nice about the resin is you can always just keep on curing as you need to. All right, looks like I'm getting my secondary mixture out and ready. Okay, so put in the UV resin, and I would say it's about like 2 pea size amounts, like 2 peas. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, go ahead and go in with your turquoise ultimate paint and mix that really nice and well. So it should be decently transparent though. I love how it looks when you can still see the antiquing of the pendant behind. So I keep it nice and transparent. Just add in your little blobs or dots of the resin. This part is so fun. I just love, like, it's almost like how kids are so in love with slime lately. It's kind of a similar thing to just be playing with the resin and plopping it on a surface. It's fun. Okay, so I'm spreading that all over the heart. Looks like I wanted to bring in a little bit more around the center. All right, going in now with the verdigris. Probably our most popular ultimate paint that we've ever had. It just is the most amazing color ever. Everyone loves it. Okay, so mixing that in with the leftover turquoise and just using the silicone brush still, the same brush. Just clean it off with the paper towel in between each time. Go ahead and fill in the gaps, just as I said before. So I took a second and kind of came up with these colors as like a little two-tone project. So I didn't really think about calling it clouds until I did it for the second time. And as I was making it, I was just like, what does this remind me of? I can't put my finger on it. So I kept working and I was watching how when the color hits the other color, it kind of just slowly flows and fades in with the other. And it really just is a lot like when you're watching the clouds in the sky and they just move slowly and so uniformly. Curing that for another probably 50 seconds does it. I always cure it, and then at the end of my project, I'll just put everything out in the sun. I'll put it in the window and it will cure completely from that. So you could technically just use the sun to cure this UV resin, but I like to work faster than that. So that's why we use the lamp on all of our projects. I'm going to show you guys this view from my iPhone here. So this is how that one turned out. Really love that. I just love the little puffed heart look, and I love all three colors together. It's just such a fun project. I keep doing that. Hi. All right, back to our view. I'm done with the blue and now I'm moving on to the pink. So gonna go in with our Petalite. It's so funny because everyone always calls this Pedialyte, and I just realized that I'm pretty sure they have a pink Pedialyte. Anyway, it's not Pedialyte, it's called Petalite. Teeniest little drop of that. It's kind of ridiculous how little amount of paint you need. It's so pigmented, and yeah, it's crazy how much it spreads. Go ahead and mix that around. I'll start adding this to my heart pendant, and then I decide to add a little more of the Petalite because it's just a little bit too transparent for me. You could definitely leave it like this if you like that really faint color, which is also really pretty, but I just wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant. There I add in the extra. That's what I love about this project is you could really just go in and keep on adding color, and the resin is still wet at this point, so you really could go in and take a paper towel and wipe off whatever you've done if you hate it. So you can totally do that. But I always like to just go for it and work with my mistakes, even if I make them. So adding in the rest of that pedalite, again, dragging it to the top of the heart pendant, because that's all one level. The square locket is kind of like two different sections. That's why I don't drag it up onto the top of that. And then adding in the fire opal just right into that pedalite paint mixture with resin. Stir it up really well. And again, love the silicone. Such an easy cleanup with resin. When you use this resin with paint brushes, it's the worst to try and get out of the bristles because of how like it feels oily when you try and get it out, and it really doesn't want to go anywhere. So when you use the silicone, it doesn't stick to the silicone, so you can just go ahead and wipe that off with a paper towel, like I said, or a baby wipe. So adding in the rest of that fire opal to the sections that don't have resin, and then I wanted more of that, so you can just insert it into some of the sections that already have that lighter tone of the pedalite. Always move your paint and resin mixture tray, because if you're holding your UV lamp over the projects while your tray is there, you're gonna cure whatever in your tray. So you don't want to do that in case you want to keep using that resin and paint mixture for other projects. Okay, just curing that. And again, it's like 30-40 seconds. You can always check it with the back of your brush. And then if it's not ready, put it in the window, or you can just keep curing it under the lamp. And I think here I will grab my paintbrush and I tap it with the back of my paintbrush. So see how that lifted as I tapped it? That means that it wasn't completely cured. It wasn't super sticky, but I would go in for one last time and cure it for a little bit longer, or just set it in the window for it to cure. So I'm gonna show you again on the phone here how they turned out, and I love them. They're just the best, like cutest little projects, and I think they would look amazing as earrings too. I feel like I could just keep going and going and going with all the different color tones. Definitely love the two-tone aspect of it though. That's, I think, is the best part. And obviously my necklace, love it. It just makes me so happy. And yeah, I hope you guys try this out. I'm going to link everything that we used to make the pendants in the description below. So I'll give you all the colors and the type of resin, where we get that from. And then all of the pendants are vintage, our own pendants that we cast. And they're a pewter base, which are, it's actually technically a pretty soft metal, but in this case, we're not going to be bending it or changing it in any way. So it kind of makes them a little bit more lightweight than if you were wearing like a steel pendant, for example. So really love the pewter for this project specifically. And I'm going to actually take this off and show you guys close up of my necklace as it's finished. Move those out of the way. And here is how awesome. So fun. And when I was finishing this out, I just added in 2 jump rings per link, and I think that just adds like a little more flair and excitement to the design. So I loved using the chunky chain for that too. Just balances everything out together. And I hope you guys try this out, and I'll say bye. Okay, guys. Oh, here, I'm going to put this back on. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you try making this necklace yourself. Okay, guys. Thanks so much.